All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Osmic here. This is going to be your Sitrep for Wednesday. It is April 6th, 2022. What? I can't believe this year is flying by. And oh, by the way, we hit 600,000 subscribers over on YouTube. And so I want to thank you all for subscribing. And man, what a milestone. It's absolutely been a crazy journey. And to think that we'd have that many followers just blows me away. So all right, so hey, look, without further ado, let's hop on over here to Skyglass. This thing is like the next best thing since sliced bread. It's absolutely amazing. What an app. I'm just telling you, this is going to be a game changer as we continue to grow and evolve it over time. But this right here is a roll-up. This is going to cover basically your air refuelers, your heavy lifts, and your NAs. Just want to show you because it really paints a picture. As you can kind of see, the East Coast is really hopping, especially with all of the NAs and stuff going on the East Coast. But all the way down from Florida, I mean, the whole East Coast is just cranking. Then we get over here into Texas, you can see a lot of air refuelers mainly in that general region. We get down here into Southern California, up into Northern California. We've got air refuelers up here and some C-130s down here on the south side of things. But really hopping and moving. So let me kind of break away from some of that. Let's take out the NAs. Again, when I hit the NAs, you can really see them load onto the board. Southeast centric, which is absolutely crazy. But all right, and then we'll take away, let's go to the air refuelers only. So we're going to get over here and give you kind of an idea what it looks like from a tanker perspective only across the United States. As we kind of declutter what we have up there. So you can see most of them are launching out of the center U.S. Got a little bit up here in the Northeast and a little activity there off the Carolinas and right there in it's kind of the Panhandle area. So, and then if we look over here at the watch list, just to kind of show you what's going on, we get away from the air refuelers. So remember, when you see the refuelers up, that's a pretty good indicator we've got for the most part, fighter activity up. Okay. Now, if we get over here to our watch list, you can see you've got an E6. That's going to be your one of your TACAMO. That's a Navy bird. Remember, that's an ICBM command center. Then we've got Night Watch up. And then down here in Florida, a couple of sub hunters. That's going to be your Navy P8s that are doing some flying off the east coast of Florida there. And then over here in Europe, we've got our normal spy birds up. Just kind of show you, those are going to be Red Eye and what's a B703, and then one of the AWACS that's up. But you can see them still in the region. That's the same area we go over day after day after day, and so it kind of runs us from Ukraine up to Belarus, and then down here right on the kind of the cusp of the Black Sea, right? And that's going to be one of our little transports. That's somebody going in and out, probably a high-level staffer that's meeting with some folks down there, the one we just showed there. But anyway, there is that. Now, if we, let's see, if we get into, we've got that, we've got the heavy lifts. Let's just look at Europe with the heavy lifts aspect. And you can see we are starting to kind of stretch up into the Baltic region. We've been watching the Swedes do some recon up in that area for weeks now. And then we're also down here kind of on the northern side of Africa. Keep in mind, too, the Russians they've got a lot of presence right there in Benghazi with surface-to-air missiles, and they control an airport there. And that's thanks to Arbach and our bug out back in the Hillary days. And then rest of Europe, you can see NATO is still moving things around, right, as they continue to feed that machine. And so we will look closer at the feed here in just 1 second. Let me get you back over here to the other side, but just give you kind of a general idea that they are continuing to move around into Europe. And then, of course, if we just look at nothing but the heavy lifts here in the United States, you can see a lot of stuff going down to Florida. I don't know what this spike is over here, just like Northern Lights or something. It's just a fluke in the map. But yeah, it looks like Florida's getting some love down there. Now, I do know they run a lot of spec ops stuff out of Patrick Air Force Base. We've seen the aircraft down there. And so it's just a data point, but just pointing that out. We don't see him really take off too much. We just see a little bit of presence here and there, but we've got eyes on the ground down there. So, all right. So, hey, listen, let's go over here to Flashbang's schedule. Again, this guy is like a blind fart in a windstorm. One spark away from a dumpster fire that just will not go out. This is really not. I just want to point out a couple things about yesterday's meeting and then today. He's going to actually be talking about this new. When he's talking about the trade unions, but this new thing here, I meant to point this out, the Act of 2022, Postal Service Reform Act. So I want to point something onto this so you can just see, it's just a data point right here on the screen, 2903, use of funds from sale of property. In the event that the Postal Service permanently ceases operations, interesting language, to say the least. And then there's some more language down here in this general area. Let me see if I can find it. But definitely something we ought to all be paying attention to, just because they like to hide little tidbits in here. This is basically, here it is, 3704, Postal Service Program for other government agencies. Looks like they are going to get in on the business. So that is kind of a catch-all. But it's just an interesting data point. Like I said, anytime you see an EO or something go through, they always have something hidden in there that we just need to pay attention to. So, but there is that. And let's get back over here to Flashbang's schedule. I want to point out yesterday, just a little data point here. Notice who he's hanging with. You got the president, the VP, and former Kenyan up there talking about the Affordable Care Act. All right. Remember, I don't think this guy is going away anytime soon. Matter of fact, I'm pretty confident we'll see him again in the coming months. And I don't mean for, running for president or anything like that. I just think this guy's definitely got part of the global agenda he's part of it. So, okay. All right, let's get over here to the flight tracker, just show you what we've got. We've got about 4 or 5 volcanoes firing over here in Central and South America. And then the one in Japan, that one actually just popping today. So continue to keep our eyes on those. Again, we usually see anywhere 5 or 6 on average. The highest I've seen is 11. And so we'll just watch it. Interesting data point for future reference also. Okay. Now we talk about the stage is set. I just want to point a couple things out. We're going to go across some headlines, and then we're going to actually look at movements of assets and troops and things of that nature. And so Spain is now allowing supermarkets to ration to avoid food shortages. You're going to start to see this pop in more and more into the headlines. That is important because if we get over here to the Great Reset, take a look at just above center left, you got extreme weather. Right below it, food crisis. And so there are all kinds of infectious disease, climate action failure, involuntary migration, right? Cyber attacks. These are all things that we are seeing front and center today. All right. And so it just goes to show you that they are marching to plan. Look at this over here too. Ukraine war, Nazi bombing. Very interesting choice of words. The fact that these, it just doesn't seem to go away, does it? So, and if you remember any of the history behind Ukraine and some of the things that were stood up in the past, you'll know that there is some very close ties to that from back in 1946 onward. So if you're wondering why we have such big interest in Ukraine, there is a reason for it, right? And it's because if you go back and look at our history, we got a lot of legwork done there over the years, probably about 80 years worth of just being ingrained in that country. And so we, I guess, stand to lose quite a bit of work if all of this goes south. And so not that that's a good thing. I'm just saying it's just an interesting, if you wonder why we're just seem to be feeding quarters into the machine over and over and over, that's why. Okay. So and there's some people that are running the country that have some personal investments there and in China. So all right, but here's again, food crisis. Look at this, Ukraine's war. You never knew that these guys were basically the ones that provide Egypt 85% of its grain and Lebanon 81% of its grain. So, Important. Ukraine is the breadbasket to that region. And so when you start disrupting that, the rest of the world is going to feel it. And it just feeds into the whole narrative, right? Again, another lockdown. We've got this talking about people scrambling to find food, right? These are going to be your headlines. And then it says Delhi. There's a lot of mouths in Delhi. So these guys are actually talking about the High Court dismisses a plea challenging a mandatory requirement for rationing under the National Food Security Act. So that's India. A lot of people in India, when they start talking about running out of food and trying to preserve it, then that is, that's what you got. So, all right, Forward Observer. I want to point out a couple more things as we talk about setting the stage and the fact that we are feeding the machine on a regular basis. You're going to see the U.S. is very, very integrated in this movement, okay? And so this is actually talking, the Pentagon's actually talking about testing a new drone technique in Ukraine. It's called Switchblade 300. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's a loitering munition system. Basically, it fires mortar rounds, but these aren't just mortar rounds. Let me show you what this thing looks like as you get over here. It basically is like a drone. So this mortar round comes out of the launcher, and it can basically hang out in the air and establish its target and then lock on, So it has the ability to just kind of, I guess you could say, hover, fly around a little bit until it sees its target. So you talk about precision. That's going to be pretty crazy. So it looks like they are getting ready to pump those into the theater. And so that is, again, another game changer. And then we get over here and we see that the U.S. government would help facilitate the delivery of these T-72 tanks we talked about in the last Sitrep from an unspecified NATO member to the Ukrainian armed forces. So that means we've got, we're basically going to get them to the border, and then we'd help facilitate, get them into Ukraine to the Ukrainians and the troops. So that means they're probably going to start striking on the border here soon from the Russian side of things. As soon as they see that stuff coming across, they're definitely going to take it out, okay? Now, here's another one. Talk about feeding the machine. Biden okays a new $100 million transfer of Javelin anti-armor missiles to Ukraine. Those are tank killers. And that shipment is funded as part of a broader $13.6 billion in aid that was approved by our Congress last month. So, just a data point. There was a headline up here just a minute ago that has gone. Yellen is basically now saying that this whole thing in Ukraine is going to cause turmoil throughout on many, many levels. And so it's not there anymore, but just want to point that out. All right. Now, this is on American Military News. It says U.S., we're now saying that Russia is repositioning forces to mount an offensive in the east, south of Ukraine, I guess, south of Ukraine on the east side. There you go. Better way to put it. Not well written there, is it? All right. And then here, this is just pointed out again. Pentagon wants permanent military bases in Eastern Europe to deter Russia. So it looks like we're trying to throw some folks into Romania, Poland, and the Baltic countries. And they said that they're very willing to host. The fact that it's this dude right here makes you realize that that's deep state, brother, right there. So they are marching to plan, like I said before. Again, same dude, top military official, basically urges more U.S. troops in Eastern Europe. So he's talking about putting bases in as well as loading up with more military assets, a.k.a. troops, all right? Okay, let's get over to the world attack in terms of cyber. I will tell you this looks to be very, very busy today. We'll keep our eye on that, but this is busier than it normally is. You can see the U.S. seems to be getting a barrage of stuff right now, all right? And if we get over here to the bot threats around the world, this is from Spamhaus Technology. Just kind of give you a general idea. It looks to be top 10 worst countries. China is number one, getting hammered. India and the United States. Don't really see any of the European stuff in there at all in top 10. But these are the bot attacks, right? Okay, moving on. All right, Black Sea, the flow of goods. Now, here's the thing. If they are talking about, remember, Russia already is controlling Crimea. They are now starting to push in. When I said southeastern Ukraine, that's going to be in Odessa, right along here in this general area. They're about to take control, so they're going to control all of the southern side. This is Soviet Union over here, or sorry, Russia. So they are about to have control of everything on the bottom end of this, which means they are going to control the flow of goods. Once it's in here, it's very hard for us. I mean, that's pretty much Soviet-controlled stuff or Russian-controlled stuff. The only way to stop that is to stop it here at the port of entry, which is controlled by Turkey, which is an ally of Russia, which is probably not going to happen. So, which means we probably will start putting warships in this region. It's probably this pinch point right here. Bet a word on that. It'll probably be NATO warships, but to stop the flow of goods. It's the only way you can really do it. All right, but anyway, red are the tankers, green are the cargo. So you can see they're still getting a flow of goods. Nothing really seems to be impacted at all. If we're trying to sanction them, you just shut it down, right? So, all right, Biggs Army Airfield. Now this is a spot we've been watching this. This is kind of our hub in terms of assets rolling in and out. Remember, they have a very large immigration center there as well. But I will tell you, nothing on the board again today. Been about a week now, ever since Flashbang went over to NATO. I was expecting to either see a big push. The fact that we didn't means that everything is in play, which means the stage is set, right? So nothing on the board. Let's go just to see if anything came in yesterday. There's Monday and Tuesday, nothing there. So, and over onto departures, same thing, nothing. So that means we're not moving any troops at the moment from that aspect. Now here, this is Omni, again, troop mover for the most part. You can see, we kind of get into this. Got several flights rolling out of, one coming out of Jacksonville and Seattle over to Anchorage, Alaska, and then up here into Norfolk, Virginia. That's coming inbound from Shannon, Ireland, and then Fort Worth Alliance down to South America or Central America. So that we could be putting some troops down there, could be moving some folks too, or picking some folks up. There's no telling. So anyway, but this is what we're showing right now for Omni. Again, these that are going up to Alaska more than likely are coming to Asia. All right. All right. It's going to be your Canberra flights. These are 100% troop movers, no fuzz on it. And so you can see a little bit of movement here into Europe, a couple flights, which would indicate we're still pushing some folks in, not to the levels we were before. And then we've got this one that looks to just be going from coast to coast and Travis Air Force Base, probably into Norfolk, if I had to guess. Okay. All right. This is going to be the Brits and their troop movers. You can see very busy right now down in the Middle East. And then up here, that's Turkey here, but Black Sea and just moving around here within Europe. All right. All right, let's bump over here to the Ruskies. Nothing on the board from the Ruskies today. Looks like they don't have anything moving. Remember, this is their state arrow. This is going to be like their blue and whites. They don't seem to have much going on today. And then this is going to be our immigration machine. Boy, lots of flights today, as you guys can see. Pretty stacked. So, and that brightness, I'm going to have to mess with the brightness on my screen because it is very bright on your screen. So we'll have to figure out what's going on there. Make it a little easier to read. So looks good over here, but when you start looking at the thin font, it definitely is harder to read for you guys. So, all right, but anyway, that's the immigration machine. We'll just keep our eye on that. Like I said, lots of stuff to Central America. The question is, are they exporting or importing, right? All right, let's get over to Guantanamo Bay. Let's talk a little bit about stuff that's been coming inbound. You're going to notice there is a new bird re-arriving, and that is going to be the Maxwell bird. So if we look into the arrivals, you're going to see N312FU. That is the bird that showed up when Maxwell was arrested. Looks to be coming back into the spa. That was yesterday. Okay. So I'm not sure on this one. This could be the new Tuesday, Friday bird. So we'll see if it shows back up on Friday. But it's coming out of Palm Beach, was a little different. But it was here on Monday coming out of Lauderdale. So we'll see if we got something new entering the schedule. All right, and if it stays permanent, but normally that 773 RB, this one here is the one that's Tuesday, Friday bird, and you can see that on the docket too. And so, not much in terms of the calendar. It is blank until the end of the month, and so that means we've probably got some other activity going on there right now. So, all right, over here to ADSB Exchange. Total number 243. It's a little light, but it is, middle of the week. Friday, we typically see an uptick. It looks like it is actually climbing a little, 282. So, all right. Well, listen, let's do TFRs real fast before I forget. These boxes right here. This yellow color is Windstorm, but you're going to see a space station coming across right there. Not too much. Air show, air show, air show. I think, let me just double check. I think that's an air show. Yeah, air show. Nothing really going on up here. That's a fire, TFR, and then that's kind of the main theme right now. Not too much going on TFR-wise. I don't see anything new popping onto the board. So, all right. Okay, well, listen, that is going to do it for our Sitrep today. Again, fast and furious, but just pay attention. We're seeing a lot of stuff bubbling in on the headlines relative to food shortages, and so that should tell us all. We need to start. They're showing their cards. If you're not already prepared, you need to get prepared, because there are definitely going to be some things where you're going to be living without, and definitely usually indicates the price of stuff, the cost of goods are going to go up considerably too. So there's that. And then, of course, we continue to just feed the machine. So it's just a matter of time before somebody just jumps into the mix there or pulls us in. So, all right, listen, that's going to be it. You guys stay frosty out there. Keep that powder dry. And we will see you on Friday for our live Sitrep. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeyworksus.com.